Let's start off by talking about work and studies. Do you work or do you study?
Currently, I just graduated, so I'm in between things, but yeah, I'm finding work at this point.
Where would you like to find some work?
Ideally in Mumbai. I'm really interested in like the startup industry. There are some startups that I'm looking to work with as in the moment right now. So that's just what like this next chapter holds for me.
In 10 years' time, what career would you like to have?
Good question. I really feel strongly about philanthropy and education specifically. So I imagine myself living in between like different places in India, pursuing this like philanthropic educational work. Yeah.
What did you want to be when you were a little girl?
So many things. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know, I couldn't choose. I think every day was something different. I would watch like a really fun TV show and, for example, Suits, and be like, oh, I'm going to be a lawyer. And I was convinced. And then I would watch a really fun movie like Devil Wears Prada, and I wanted to be a fashion designer. So it was many different things when I was younger.
Now let's talk about reading. Did you have a favorite book when you were a child?
So I don't know if it's necessarily my favorite, but there was this book called The Secret Garden that I remember reading in my class in the 4th grade. And I'm categorizing it as my favorite book because it just meant a lot to me, because there was really nice descriptions about like the scenery, and that really got me into reading. So I think for the heartwarming purpose, it's definitely my favorite book when I was younger, but it's just the book that started my love for reading in general.
Did you do a lot of reading when you were at university?
I did a lot of reading, too much reading. I did a lot of reading that was more literary works, and it made me realize, oh, I don't like it. I don't like them. I'm also not a fan of novels, but what I am a fan of is more fiction or self-help kind of books, especially that I'm getting older and I want to incorporate habits into my life.
Are there any books you would recommend to people?
There's this book I read called Daisy Jones and the Sixth, and it was just a really fun book. It was the book I read recently, and I think people who are into fiction and like music would really love that book. It was adapted into a series after, so definitely recommend that one.
Now let's talk about drinks. In your country, what do people normally drink with dinner?
Okay, there's so many options. Particularly in my family, we have a weird mix of things. But in my country, we usually have like masala chai, or we have normal sodas, but we put some masala in it, which is like some spice, to kind of give it that extra like kick. So that's really common. But in my family, we put like, for example, Coke, we put a little bit of vanilla ice cream. And I think it also has to do with like different places in India also have this, but in my family, it's staple. Yeah.
Do you drink a lot of water every day?
Yes, I do. And it's because when I don't, I can feel the like adverse effects immediately. So I make sure I drink water every single day, but it's so hard because like in the hurry of everything, you just forget.
Do you prefer drinking tea or coffee?
Okay, so I have phases in my life. Like sometimes coffee just tastes too good, but I'm really caffeine sensitive. I realized this after having very like jittery episodes. So if I have coffee, it's a decaf, but I really love tea for like different purposes. So like chamomile before sleeping or green tea to detox.
If I visited your home, what would you or your parents or your family offer me to drink?
Definitely tea. I think it's also like culturally, like we're more accustomed to being like, can I get you some tea? So definitely tea, but also like coffee is always available if you want, but such special request.
Now let's talk about the weekend. What do you normally do on the weekend?
So I think it depends on how the week has gone. If it's a good week, you know, weekend can go any which way. But I think a very crucial point or part of my routine is like cold plunging or sauna. I really try and prioritize that because it helps like my anxiety fade away. I really love exercising. That's a crucial part as well. And just meeting friends and family. I think I carve out time specifically for that because the weekdays can get so busy.
How often do you have a lazy weekend?
Very often. Like most mornings are like they begin very lazily. And when it comes to lazy weekends, I don't really thrive on lazy weekends because then I kind of fall into like a rut. So I try to be lazy enough, but not too lazy.
Do you think that your weekend schedule will change as you grow older?
I definitely think so. I think that the more I'm using a lot of energy during the week and maybe doing tasks that don't give me energy, that are more draining, I will need time to recuperate like during the weekends. So the more I'm a little bit forced to do things I'm not particularly happy about, I think the more lazy weekends I need. The last time I had to do something in a hurry was quite recently. I think around a month ago, I moved out of where I was living, and it was in a different country. So what that meant is I had to pack my whole life into 2 suitcases since I was moving back home. And the reason it was all left to the last minute was because I had just went on a trip with my boyfriend to Mexico. So I had around a week once I came back from that trip to pack up everything, to arrange where all my mattresses would go, where my couch would go, and get rid of everything. And it was quite an anxiety-inducing experience for me because I'm a very like organized person, even though this doesn't seem like it, but I really am. And so when I had to kind of gather everything, it felt very last minute, even though I had a week. And I think till the last hour, I had to leave to go to the airport. I was packing things up. But thankfully, I had a really good group of friends that were with me, blasting music, helping me pack, made it like a really fun, enjoyable experience. And I think that really helped also get some momentum to pack. Otherwise, I was feeling really lazy about it. And I think even after I left some things behind, but my friends went back to my apartment, helped me get rid of it. So it was definitely a team effort. It takes a village.
We've been discussing an occasion when you had to do something in a hurry, and we're going to talk about time management, arriving late, managing time, things like that. Do you think it's acceptable to arrive late when meeting a friend?
Thought about this question a lot because I feel like I've been victim to this situation a lot of the times. I think it depends on how much it happens with the same person. But I think there's obviously some unforeseen circumstances that can arise. I would say that if you can't avoid it, because time is really limited and you want to kind of extend respect to your friend, show them, I care about your time. So it's always best to, I personally think, try and arrive on time.
Should there be any negative consequences for people who arrive late for work?
Again, it kind of, what I said before bleeds into this answer a little bit because I think it's depending on how recurring is your situation. If there's a certain circumstance that happens every morning, maybe, you're a parent that has to take care of your child, then I think the company should allow for this situation to happen and not give such extreme consequences. I think they should be more accepting and understanding. But I think if it's just because, you've been waking up late, for companies, even though I would be like, it's okay. I think, time is money, especially nowadays in like this corporate capitalistic world. So unfortunately, it makes sense for companies to reprimand, but I would say not too much.
Now let's talk about managing study time. Do you think it's better to study for long periods of time or break up study time into shorter chunks?
I would say shorter chunks. I'm also saying this understanding the era we are in now, where short form media has also influenced like how we consume information and what works best for us. So I think more than what should people do, it's what I feel would be most productive for them. And I think that maybe like having little breaks in between can be like kind of motivation. Okay, let me finish this chapter and then I'll have like a chocolate. So I think that would be really good.
Do you think that students should incorporate leisure time into their study time?
I think so. I recently went to this like virtual VR this experience where I was learning about the Titanic buy like a VR headset and this. So I found it like a really fun experience. It was date night for me, but I learned so much. And my first thought after that experience was, I can have fun and learn. And I felt like my mom, like being like, you can have fun and learn. But I think that they both can go hand in hand, especially nowadays, because there's so many different things available for you to really expand how you like consume information. So yeah, I think so.
Well done. That's the end of part 3 and the end of the speaking test. How did you feel about that?
So nice. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was no problem for you.
Thank you.